caught up in this group of highly respected, distinguished financial group. I feel I am a visiting urologist to a corporate conglomerate here. But all of them are very young. Most of my patients are in the older category. Urology has been my first love, but after 25 years of practice, it has become a hobby. Let me assure you that finance is my second love. Finance, Shema Fernandez was at the right end of the derivatives. She designed the derivatives. I landed at the wrong end of the derivatives. I started operating them. I earned a lot of money through derivatives. I lost a lot of money through derivatives. In the end, it was a zero-sum game. It sort of balanced out, and before I went down negative, I withdrew a little. But then I believe derivatives are not weapons of mass financial destruction. If used properly, they can give you immense gain. There are safe strategies. Sometime we will discuss. Safe strategies. They can be used for hedging. Anyway, the stock markets are my second love. I get an adrenaline rush. 5 days in a week, adrenaline rush when the stock markets are on. Saturday, Sunday is off. Monday, I'm again, Sonia said, you're waiting for Monday to come. I also wait for Monday, 9:15 to 3:30. In the next 30 minutes or so, I'll just try to tell you in very simple terms what I, as a urologist, and my wife, she's a gynecologist here, Shaila, she must be here somewhere. She said she would be coming. She must be. Okay. What we have learnt in life, life has not always been good. Life has been good, life has been bad. Good experiences usually vaporize off. You enjoy something and it's over. But bad experiences stay on. And each time you get a bad experience, you can do two things. You can either be bitter about it or you can get better at it, after the event. Consciously, both of us have sort of made an arrangement that we will never get bitter about bad things. And there's always a better side. You can always improve upon it. And the system has not failed us. If you see, for the last 25 years, I've been in Bangalore. 25 years, that's the time I got married. I came here after marriage. 25 years, the system of leaving bad things out and trying to learn something from it has really been of use. Thanks for the words of introduction. Somebody mentioned that I've traveled all over India. Yeah, I traveled all over India and finally I've come to Bangalore. Bangalore is the best place as far as I am concerned. Beautiful place. The love of my life is here. Now it's not 25, it's 27 years. And I've been working in the same hospital. You see it on the screen on top, that's AJ Hospital. I've been working there for the last 16 years. The fact that I've been working there for 16 years should tell you that things are quite good there. Once in Mangalore, I decided to be in the best place. I had a lot of opportunities, but family circumstances made it such that I had to be here, and so I decided to be here in AJ Hospital. It's a wonderful place, very inspiring place. This Prerna initiative is about inspiration. This is a very inspiring place for me. Inspiring, it's a very well-equipped hospital, one of the cleanest hospitals in India. Not in Bangalore. It's one of the cleanest hospitals in India. Very well equipped. And the best thing about the hospital, it's a corporate hospital with some of the bad things about corporate industry left out. In the corporate setup, you talk of profits. Everything is profit. Everything is profit oriented. You want how much return on capital employed, ROC or whatever you. This much you invest, you have to get this much percentage. This management has been so good. They have their income from educational sources, from post-graduation and MBBS courses. That's a different issue. But as far as healthcare industry is concerned, they have never set a target on doctors as all corporate hospitals do. It is one of the finest things I can talk about this place, that they've never told us you have to, they've never told us a target. The second row, that's my team. We are 3 consultants. The first 3 are the consultants, and the 3 on your right, they are my postgraduates. I prefer not to call them teachers and refer to us as teachers and students. We are consultants and postgraduates, and we have a teamwork. We inspire each other. We have a wonderful team. I think it's already been spoken. My job is very easy. Most of you have brought out all the points, but I'll just tell you with regard to teamwork in our hospital. Whenever you form a team, you are not going to do things alone. In life, you have to form teams. Your knowledge has become such that you know less and more about less and less. So if you want to deliver the goods, you have to have more people in your team. And as Mr. Prakash Pai said, when you take a team, always take a person who is better than yourself. Always select a person who is better than yourself, because if you just carry on for 5 years with people who are not as good, the average comes down. At the end, you are not competitive enough to face the requirement of the patients. So we have an excellent teamwork. When Sandeep sent this lovely invitation, beautifully designed invitation, 3 of my postgraduates, they're all here now. All are sitting here right in the front row. 3 of my postgraduates, they said, we also want an invitation. I said, so why do you want an invitation? They said, no, we have not attended career guidance session for a very long time. The reason why they wanted to come here was because there were a whole lot of TV personalities. See, we get a certain amount of thrill out of seeing TV people. When you put on the TV in the evening, you find a lot of personalities, and you see them in real life. There's a feeling that there's a thrill in seeing them, you see. I knew that was the reason, not to listen to me. They're sitting there and laughing. Okay, anyway, it's very nice that they have come. They are a wonderful part of my team. I want to mention here, one of the inspiring forces during my life stay in Mangalore is Professor Gopinath. He's here sitting in the front row on the wheelchair. He's a professor of economics, retired professor of economics at Canara College. A teacher par excellence, who is more able than a person who is able. He has been the inspiring force for thousands of students. He has been the inspiring force for several of my patients. I was the first person, a urologist, to treat him, and he has maintained the relationship with me for the last almost 25-30 years. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here. I don't refer to postgraduates as students. We are all students. Learning begins from childhood until the last breath. We are students. There is no getting away from being a student, and the day you stop learning, that's the day your downfall starts. There is no beginning or end. It just goes on. Learning process goes on. Earlier, knowledge used to be a very closely guarded secret. Nobody wanted to part with it. There was a guru-shishya relationship. Today, after the internet and Google have come, the dividing line between the teacher and the student has become just a very fine line. Experience is there. There's a difference of experience. But when it comes to knowledge, sometimes the youngsters like you have much better knowledge than the person who is teaching you. You have it in your mobiles. And the pace at which the technology is progressing, there is a leapfrogging of technologies. It's not slow anymore, it's very, very fast. So, as you proceed from one to the other, it's not a question of learning, you also have to unlearn. If you do not unlearn the previous thing, you can't learn the next technology. You see this, the first one, previously it used to be all open surgery. Take a knife, open, big surgeons give big incisions, that was the dictum. Then we moved on to, this is not a surgery class, but I'm just telling you how technology has changed. The second slide there, it shows the technology moved on to what is called laparoscopy. Laparoscopy, you don't cut, you just make small holes on the abdomen. But laparoscopy had a problem. Patient would be very happy with small holes on the abdomen and no big incision, but the surgeon, it was an extremely tough thing. When you operate, you go this way. In laparoscopy, if you want to go here, your hand goes like this. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And of course, over the last 20 years, people mastered it. Then there was a leapfrogging of technology to robotics. Robotics, we went back to the surgical, it is called intuitive systems, where you operate straight, the robot does the movement. You just operate straight, just like you do in an open surgery. So it came as a big relief to the surgeons who could not do laparoscopy. Robotics is coming in a big way, and in another 10 years, you'll find about 90% of surgeries are done using the robot. So if you want to learn the robot, you first have to forget the laparoscopy. If you want to do laparoscopy, you have to forget your the open surgery. So that's what learning is all about. When you go for an interview, sometimes experienced people don't get the jobs. It is the newcomers who get the job because the company has to spend more time, more effort, more money in trying to make that person unlearn the process. A youngster will pick it up much faster. Sometime in the 1840s, Abraham Lincoln wrote a letter to his son's headmaster. It is a masterpiece. It is one of the finest letters ever written. If you see the contents, it gives advice to the teacher how the student should be groomed to make him a useful citizen. If Abraham Lincoln had a daughter, he would have meant the same. I do not differentiate between sons and daughters, but the letter was with respect to his son. My son starts school today. It's an adventure that might take him across continents, all adventures that probably include wars, tragedy and sorrow. Life begins with an opportunity. Some people get opportunities on their laps. So you have to scout for them, you have to hunt for them, then you will get them. Lucky people do get it. There was a medical graduate, I'll tell you a story of a medical graduate in Calcutta. He tried all the postgraduate seats, he could not get, then he went to Calcutta, became a duty doctor. He was going up the elevator one day and a well-dressed gentleman just collapsed inside the lift. He had the presence of mind to resuscitate him. This guy was taken to the ICU. Finally, he underwent a bypass surgery, came out. First thing he called for this guy and said, "Son, would you like to become a cardiac surgeon?" It was an opportunity that came to him. He didn't know whether to say yes or no. He said yes. Very rich gentleman, this patient. He sent him to UK, trained himself, came back, started his own cardiac surgery hospital in Bangalore. The rest is history. The hospital is now operating on 2,000 patients in a year. It has gone public. Yes, I am speaking of Dr. Devi Shetty. That's how, when you get an opportunity, you grab it. And he did it, and see where he has reached. If you get an opportunity and you do not know what to do, just accept it first. First accept it. And you can always learn how to go ahead with trying to achieve the ends. It's difficult, you have to struggle, but you can do it. Every opportunity should be taken as a challenge. Do not differentiate between genders. This is not for you all, it's for, if there are parents here. boys and girls, there's no difference, and you must follow your passion. This has been already elaborated by all the previous speakers. My son is a computer science graduate in Bangalore. Much as we would have liked him to do his post-graduation, he is a man of his own. He just said, if I do post-graduation, I'm going to be worse off than now. He said, if I do post-graduation, it's not going to help me with my work. I'm happy, I can do this. So we just kept out of it, and he's happy, and that's what we are, we are happy about it. My daughter, on the other hand, has done architecture. She wants to go across continents. We have given her the liberty, we are trying. I hope she gets a good college for post-graduation. Teach him that for every enemy there is a friend. All men are not true. But teach him also that for every scoundrel there is a hero. For every crooked politician there is a dedicated leader. Attitude. Very small thing that makes a very big difference in your life. Everything, your happiness depends upon your attitude. You are going to meet several people in the course of your profession, practice, life. Some good, some not so good, some bad. Some who will try to push you down, some who will try to pull you up, some who will praise you, some who will deride you. You meet all sorts of people. Learn not to get into conflicts, because it doesn't serve anyone getting into conflicts. At the end of the day, it will only increase your blood pressure. You cannot change that person, change your attitude. You can change your own attitude. Richard Carlson has written a wonderful book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Day to day, small things should not worry you. It's all small stuff. Enjoy your work. This has also been told. We enjoy, as a urologist, if I get new technology, that's real fun. Get new technology. If I get the robot, I'll be even more happy. It's not there yet. You treat a patient, see his smile, you remove a big tumor, you create a new bladder for a guy. Everything is so, it's so pleasing. The moment you start disliking your work, your results will come down. It's not a crime to be rich. It's not a crime to charge for your services. You're all entitled. You're putting a lot of efforts. But never, ever forgo your ethics. Never, ever forgo your ethics. The dividing line between ethics and illegality is very fine. It's only the first time that it's difficult to go from ethical to unethical to illegal. After that, it becomes a daily routine. Never, never go on to unethical, because that is the first step to going on to illegal stuff. Keep away from bad ethics. At some time we have to go, we have to stop our work. Let them tell anything about you, but let them always tell that you are being a very honorable person. And if you are honest, you don't need lectures in ethics. Teach him to learn how to gracefully lose and enjoy winning when he does. Teach him there can be glory in failure and despair in success. Not everyone can be a genius. Not everyone needs to be a genius. All the previous speakers, they have stressed on not being mediocre. Very true. You should not be mediocre. You should try to be the best. But let me tell you, society is not made out of only the top and the geniuses. There is a place for, not the mediocre, there is a place for the next rung also. If all were at the top, then there is no difference. If everybody is at the top, then that means the society runs on all sorts of intellectual capacities. So don't be disheartened if you're not a genius, or if you're not in the top 10 percentile, don't be disheartened. There's a role for you, and you'll do well in life, but whatever you do it properly. These are success stories. 3 of them have already been dealt with. Jordan seems to feature in all of them. He is the right man who has come at the right time. and we will change. Bill Gates, Richard Branson, nobody has spoken about Richard Branson. He was dyslexic in his childhood. He had a learning disorder, and now he has become this owner of Virgin Atlantic. If a child fails, in spite of working, it is not the child's fault. It is a systemic failure. It is because we have not recognized the child's potential. Our examination and assessment system is such that this boy has to fail. If you change the assessment system, probably somebody else will fail, this guy may be at the top. So failure tells us that he's not done well in this assessment system. It's got nothing to do with what he's going to do in life. So don't worry about failures, don't worry about less marks, don't worry about not being on top of the class. You will all do well. Teach him, if you can, the wonders of books, but also give him time to ponder the extreme mystery of birds in the sky, bees in the sun, flowers, green hill. Life and work are always going together. You can't separate the career alone from life. Career contains so many other things. Career is only a small part of life. Don't spend your whole life running a race with your peers as if it's a 100-meter dash, because in life there is no finish line. When you reach the finish line, you will find that the finish line has been shifted to somebody else. Never go for the finish line. There will be only disappointment. Try to be better today than what you were yesterday. Try to be better tomorrow than what you were. You be your own bar. You take life as it comes, as if each one is going on a track. Nobody behind you, no one in front. You can have a leader, you can idol, you can emulate somebody. But don't compete with your peers, because that's the sure shot way to be unhappy. I call this the bottle of life. See, everything in life can fit into a very finite quantity. You can have a career and bank balance, then you have health, personal time, social activity, travel. You can fill it up with whatever you want. But finally, you can just fill the bottle. You give a lot of importance to your career and bank balance, something else has to suffer. What I'm trying to tell you is, it's not about just earning or just having a bank balance. It is about the proportion between these things that makes you happy. What is right for me may not be right for you. So you have to decide for yourself what is best in this category and plan out your life. Remember, everyone doesn't have everything. This is the order teacher, but see what best you can do. He is such a nice little boy, and he's my son. And if it's a daughter, she's a nice little girl and she's my daughter. Tomorrow, you are all going out into this life's journey. Just remember a few take-home points. Enjoy your work. Follow your passion. Do hard work. Don't rest on your laurels. Be ready to face failures. One day you will have success. But remember, when you have success, there is a world outside yours where people are less fortunate. And there is a payback time. You have earned from society, at some time you have to give back to society. The time when you are successful, that is the time to give back to society. And if you give back to society, you would have proved yourself as true sons and daughters. Thank you very much. I hope you have learned something from this talk. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful, inspiring words. We're now open for the question and answer session.
Hello, sir. It's my privilege to be listening to you today. So, it's an amazing thing to listen to you that you've been a part of AFMC Pune, you've been into PGIMER Chandigarh. It's like the dream colleges of all medical aspirants. So, sir, in your undergraduate days, what have you been doing? Like, have you been putting into 16 to 18 hours of study, or what have you been doing?
Yeah, I used to study. I was frankly not very keen on sports, extracurricular activities. I put in a lot of effort. But now, maybe it was necessary at that time. Now I've diversified myself into so many things other than urology. I think there comes a time in your life when you can do it. But at your time, you have to put in efforts. You can't, just sit and wait for. Our examination system is like that. The system is such that unless you work hard, you will not get through. The competition is so much. And as you go higher up, the competition becomes tougher.
So, being in this profession for the past 25 or so years, what advice would you give to the students who want to serve the society? Like you have been talking about corporate hospitals giving cuts.
Yes.
How can a student who is going to be a doctor in the future refrain from them?
See, ethics are something which are inborn. If somebody tries to force ethics with the law, it has been time and again noticed that it fails. So, inculcation of ethics starts from your family, it starts from home, it starts with what you do in society, and it continues when you go on to your profession. You can't be unethical all your life and then say, in my profession I will be ethical, or other way around. Never fall. See, why do people become unethical? It is for money. And the bottom line is money. You agree? Yeah, the bottom line is money. Money will come. See, earning money through rightful source, you do a wonderful surgery, you are entitled to charge your patient, provided you have told him, okay, I am going to operate, this is going to be, there should be a transparency. But any other source of income to the doctor is not acceptable. See? And there are so many laws coming up, ethics, and there's a watchdog. But frankly, it's not a watchdog that is going to do the job. It's going to be, our own conscience. If your conscience is telling you not to do something, don't do it.
Thank you, sir.
There's no getting out of unethicality once you start it. It's very difficult. So don't start.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Deeksha. My question is a bit on the other side. Right now, I'm pursuing Ayurvedic medicine. So after I got into this field, I realized it's a very good field. It's wonderful. But then we study what people in normal medicine, like what they do it in MBBS. We study that as well as our science. But still we see that gap between doctors who are graduating as MBBS doctors and Ayurvedic doctors or any other field of medicine. There's still a wide gap, as in why isn't that these doctors are given equal importance as the others?
That's not for me to answer. It is the government that is, See, I won't discount, let me be honest, I will not discount other systems of medicine because I don't know about it. Homeopathy, some people swear by it. It works for some. Ayurveda, it works. So it's not, it's very difficult for me to comment on Ayurveda and say it's good or bad. There are good things in all professions, but I have embraced allopathy and surgery, so I can tell you about the good things in allopathy and, in surgery. But I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to an emergency, there's nothing like modern medicine. Most of the others are okay for chronic problems. I don't think in a dire emergency, all will rush to the hospital.